welcome to Podnutz Daily for August 20th, 2008, episode number 61. Okay, gonna go over a bunch of stuff here. Busy day at the shop. A couple interesting jobs here, a couple interesting computers to talk about. Had this one system. It was a Dell Inspiron 6000, I think, or 8000. It was a 17-inch laptop, Dell. A couple years old, maybe like 2 years old. Anyway, what was happening with this machine? Customer brought it in because it was running slow. It was running slow, and I'm just trying to think of what some of the symptoms were. You know what? I don't think I even checked what it was doing, what it was popping up, or whatever. We just went right into my cleanup procedure. And I did my full cleanup procedure. Now, after the procedure was done, the system was running okay, but the service host in the task manager, the process explorer thinger, service host was maxing as a process that was maxing out the process. It was running at like 90% up to 99% back and forth. So even though there was no like visible instance of something running, that was just maxing out the processor. Now, in my experience, after running all your anti-spyware and all that kind of stuff, if you're still getting that service host, what I like to do, if the computer's not completely updated, is just get all the Windows updates, including Service Pack 3. I've handled that problem almost every time by doing that. So I installed Service Pack 3, and though it did... Did it work? Yes. Though it did handle the problem, now when I boot the system up, Explorer doesn't run. Now, Explorer is, if you guys run Explorer on your PC, that gives you the taskbar. That gives you your desktop icons. It gives you basically the ways to explore the files in the computer. And it wouldn't start after I ran Service Pack 3. So I was going through some fixes on how to fix that, because I've never run into that where Explorer just didn't start. Usually the Windows Updates handles that as well. There's a lot of suggestions for that, and I'll tell you what worked, and I'll tell you what I tried. I tried running from the command line, it's msconfig. Was it msconfig? No, run. Going to start and then run. I tried running this command. It's sfc /scan now in Windows. So sfc /scan now. It makes sure, I think, all the original Windows files that should be intact and not corrupted are in place. And I ran that, and it still didn't work. I did find one fix on the internet, and I figured I'd give it a shot. It was super easy to do. One guy said I had the same problem. I boot my computer, Explorer doesn't load. He's like, what I did was I went into my computer. See, if I actually went into Task Manager and typed Explorer, it would open up. But it just wouldn't open on startup. So what he said is you go in and you change the name of Explorer to Explorer1.exe. So it's changed from Explorer.exe to Explorer1.exe. Then you go into the registry. I can't remember the exact registry key. Like local user system, or local user software, Windows, NT, Win boot, or something like that. And then you change one of the registry keys from Explorer to Explorer 1. So you change those two things, start up the system, it works fine. So I don't know exactly why that works, but it works. And that's mainly what I'm concerned with when I do those kind of things. Tried it a couple times, works perfectly fine. Fine with me. Had a laptop come in. Customer had a broken screen on his Acer laptop, 14-inch. He showed it to me, and he said, yeah, something's wrong with my screen. And I looked at it, and there was a big crack down and behind the glass. And I'm like, yeah, it's broken. I mean, this doesn't just happen. Like, does something happen to it? Because I kind of knew the guy. And he's like, no. I'm like, he was just sitting there, and this happened. He's like, I came home, and it happened. I'm like, well, who was home in your house? He goes, my brother. And I'm like, did your brother use your computer? And he looks, and he's like, my brother swears he didn't do it. So unless his house is haunted or some other unexplained phenomenon will cause an LCD screen to break. I think his brother has a little explaining to do. Anyway, I ordered from my guy DVD Super 999 on eBay. Got it in like 2 days. Brand new screen. Installed it. Here's a tip on installing your screens. When you're installing a laptop screen, if they come and they're brand new, they usually have a protective coating on the front, like a piece of plastic, and there's 2 pieces of masking tape or 2 pieces of tape usually holding it to the actual screen itself. What I like to do is I don't rip that off immediately. I take the screen, I plug the LCD cable, the LCD cable into the screen. I lay the screen flat down on the keyboard and I plug the cable in while the protective coating is still on there. And I just basically try to do as much as I can of the installation with that coating on there before I take it off, because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mar the screen at all during the installation process. It's tough because at the end you have to take the tape off, otherwise you can't screw the screen in through the sides. The screws will go through the tape. But keep the plastic coating on there as long as possible. Keep that screen as perfect as you can, and then with the last minute, pull that protective coating off. You just slap the bezel back on the the front of the screen. I love doing laptop screen repairs. If you guys ever, if you're afraid to do them or you're not sure, take a junky laptop and practice on it, because it's a quick job, it's good money, and they're easy. They're so easy. It's like taking 5 screws off. You take the front panel off, take a couple more screws out, unplug the cable, plug it back in. Just don't bang the screen at all. But once you get used to it, those jobs are a piece of cake. I love doing them because they're easy and they're in the public eye. There's a range of difficulty to doing it, so they're willing to pay. Let's see here. Here's another tip. Had a computer I talked about the other day where the power jack was overheating. The pin in the power jack was overheating, and it was melting any power adapter we'd plug into the thing. I looked at it as best I could. I took the whole thing apart, and in my diagnosis, it looked like it was the motherboard, because there was nothing physically wrong that was causing that, except when you plug something in, it would just get real hot. So the customer didn't want to buy another motherboard. So what I did was, okay, I could charge him for a diagnostic fee, maybe like $30 or so. Plus, he wanted his data transferred from that laptop to a new one he was going to buy. So he brought in an external hard drive. So he wanted the data from that laptop into an external hard drive. When these kind of jobs roll around, I get a little, like a light bulb go off in my head, and I said, this computer is still worth money to me. It has value to me. I could use it for parts. I could replace the motherboard and sell it. I could try to do some fixes that I wouldn't normally try to do on his motherboard, like in fear of breaking components or whatnot. So the computer has value. So I will usually say in this kind of case, look, because the customer